daddy says I'm a special little guy.
I am a princess.
And I am a prince. Mom says I'm an angel sent down from the sky.
My daddy says I'm a special little soldier. No one is as handsome, strong as me.
It's true, he indulges my tendencies of bold.
But I'm his little soldier. Hop 2 for free. My mommy says I'm a miracle. One look at my face and it's plain to see. Ever since the day Doc chopped me umbilical cord, it's been clear there's no peer for a miracle like me.
My daddy says I'm a special little soldier. No one is as bold or tough as me. As my daddy told ya, one day when I'm older, I can be a soldier
And shoot you in the face.
One can hardly move for beauty and brilliance these days. It seems that there are millions of these, one in a millions these days. Specialness is de rigueur, above average is average, go figure. Is it some modern miracle of calculus that such frequent miracles don't render each one miraculous?
My mommy says I'm a precious ballerina. She has never seen a pretty ballerina. She says if I'm keen I have to cut down on the cream. But I'm a ballerina, so give me more cake.
My mommy says I'm a miracle. One look at my face and it's plain to see. Ever since the day Doc chopped me umbilical cord, it's been clear there's no peer for a miracle like me. My mommy says I'm a miracle.
My mommy says I'm a lazy little worm. My daddy says I'm a bore. My mommy says I'm a jumped up little germ. That kids like me should be against the law. My daddy says I should learn to shut my pie hole. No one likes a smart mouth girl like me. Mom says I'm a good case for population control. Dad says I should watch more TV.
Get out of it! Oh, yes, sir. Oh, that is right, sir. 155 brand new luxury cars, sir. Oh, are they good runners? Oh, let's put it this way. You want to beat them in the race? Oh, no, sir. Yes, sir. Are they all good runners, sir? Yes, sir. Oh, indeed, sir. How much are we talking about here?
Ah! Harry!
Hang on.
Look at this! She's reading a book! That's not normal for a 5-year-old! I think she might be an idiot!
Listen to this. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom.
Ah!
Stop scaring your mother with that book, boy!
I'm a girl.
And she keeps trying to tell me these stories, Harry! Stories! I mean, it's just not normal for a girl to be all thinking.
I'm gonna call you straight back. I am trying to pull off the biggest business deal of my life, and I have to listen to this. It's your fault. You spent us into trouble, and you expect me to get us out? What am I, a flaming escapologist?
What about me then? I've got a whole house to look after. Tennis time to microwave themselves, you know. I am off to bleach my roots, and I shan't be talking to you for the rest of the evening, you horrid little man!
But I'm going to make us rich.
Rich? How rich?
Oh, very rich. Russian businessmen, very, very stupid. Your genius husband is going to sell them 155 knackled old bangers as brand new luxury cars.
That's not fair. The cars will break down.
Fair. Listen to the boy.
I'm a girl.
Fair does not get you anywhere, you thick-headed twit's brain. All I can say is thank heavens Michael has inherited his old man's brains. Yeah, son?
Michael.
Yeah. Well, I shall take your money when you earn it, and I shall spend it. but I shan't enjoy it because of the despicable way in which you have spoken with me tonight.
This is your fault. With your stupid books and your stupid reading.
What? But I didn't do anything. That's not right.
Right. Right. I'll tell you something. You're off to school in a few days' time, and you won't be getting right there. Oh no. See, I know your headmistress, Agatha Trunchbull, and I've told her all about you and your smarty pants ideas. Great, big, strong, scary woman she is. Used to compete in the Olympics, throwing the hammer. Imagine what she is going to do to a horrible, squeaky little goblin like you, boy.
I'm a girl.
Now, off to bed, you little bookworm.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. So they say the subsequent fall was inevitable. They never stood a chance, they were written that way. Innocent victims of their story. Like Romeo and Juliet, 'twas written in the stars before they even met. That love and fate and a touch of stupidity would rob them of the hope of living happily. The endings are often a little bit gory. I wonder why they didn't just change their story. We're told we have to do what we are told, but surely sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty. Just because you find that life's not marriage doesn't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. If you always take it on the chin and wear it, nothing will change. Even if you're little, you can do a lot. You must let a little thing like little stop you. If you sit around and let them get on top of you, you might as well be saying you think that it's okay, and that's not right. And if it's not right, you have to put it right. Platinum blonde hair dye, extra strong. Keep out of its children. Oil Violet's hair tonic. For men. Yep. In a slip of a bolt, there's a tiny revolt. The seed of a wall in a creak of a floorboard. A storm can begin with the flap of a wing. The tiniest mite packs the mightiest sting every day. Start with the tick of a clock, all escapes. Start with the click of a lock. If you're stuck in a story and want to get out, you don't have to cry. You don't have to shout, 'cause if you're little, you can do a lot. You must let a little thing like little stop you. If you sit around and let them get on top, you won't change a thing. Just because you find that life's not fair, it doesn't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. If you always take it on the chin and wear it, you might as well be saying you think that it's okay, and that's not right. And if it's not right, you have to put it right. But nobody else is gonna put it right for me. Nobody but me is gonna change my story. Sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty.
Matilda, what a pleasure to see you. Here in the library again, are we?
Oh, yes. You see, my mom wanted me to stay home. She hates it when I go out. She misses me so much. Dad, too. He loves having me around.
Your parents must be so proud to have a girl as clever as you. And you tell them lots of stories like you do with me? I love your stories, Matilda. Goodbye, Mrs. Phelps. See you next week. Goodbye, Miss Honey. And good luck with the Tolstoy.
Who was that?
That lady? That was Miss Honey. She's going to be your teacher.
That lady? That lady is my...
Yes, your teacher. Now look, are you going to tell me a story or not?
Once upon a time...
Yay,
Once upon a time, the two greatest circus performers in the world, an escapologist who could escape from any lock that was ever invented, and an acrobat who was so skilled it seemed as if she could fly, fell in love and got married. Although they loved each other, although they were famous and everyone loved them, they were sad. We have everything, but one thing, we do not have a child.
Oh, Matilda.
But time is the one thing no one is a master of. And as time passed, they grew quite old. And still, they had no child.
Oh, Matilda, this is very sad.
Do you want me to stop?
Don't you dare.
This sadness overwhelmed them and drew them into even more dangerous feats, where their work became the only place they could escape the inescapable tragedy of their lives. It is our destiny, said the wife, smiling sadly, slipping her hands into his. It is where the loneliness of life has led us.
Well, what happens?
I don't know. Not yet, anyway.
What? But isn't there some more?
Bye, Mrs. Phelps. See you tomorrow.
After your first day of school.
And so you think you're able to survive this mess by being a prince or a princess. You will soon see there's no escaping tragedy. And even if you put in heaps of effort, you're just wasting energy. Cause your life as you know it is ancient history. I have suffered in this jail. I've been trapped inside this cage for ages, this living hell. But if I try I can remember that before my life had ended, before my happy days were over, before I first heard the pealing of the bell. Like you I was curious, so innocent I asked 1,000 questions. But unless you want to suffer, listen up and I will teach you a thing or two. You listen here, my dear, you'll be punished so severely if you step out of line. And if you cry, will be double. You to stay out of trouble and remember to be extremely careful.
Why?
Why?
Why? Did you hear what we said?
Just you wait for me said.
Good morning, class. My name is Miss Honey, and today is a very special day, your first day of school. Now, do any of you know any of your 2 times tables? Wonderful. Matilda, isn't it? Please do as much as you can.
1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10, 6 times 2 is 12, 7 times 2 is 14, 8 times 2 is 16, 9 times 2 is 18, 10 times 2 is 20, 11 times 2 is 22, 12 times 2 is 24.
Oh, my word.
13 times 2 is 26, 14 times 2 is 28. But
Stop! Good heavens. How far can you go?
I don't know. Quite a long way, I think.
How about this? Now this is much harder, so don't worry if you don't get it. 2 times 487.
974.
No way! Let's leave maths for the time being and look at reading. Now, can anyone read this?
Ooh, Louie! Miss, I can! Louie!
Very well, Alice. Leave it there, Alice. Lavender.
Is the first word tomato?
No, but tomato is a very good word.
Yes.
Matilda.
I can now read words.
So, Matilda, you can read words.
Yes. I needed to learn to read words so I could read sentences. Because basically a sentence is just a big bunch of words. And if you can't read sentences, you've got no chance with books.
And have you read a whole book? Yourself, Matilda.
Oh yes, more than one. Last week I read quite a few.
A few? In
in a week. My, that is good. What books did you read?
Nicholas Nickleby, Oliver Twist, Jane Eyre, Tess of the Doervilles, The Lord of the Rings, Kim, The Invisible Man, The Secret Garden, Crime Punishment, and Cat in the Hat.
Can I ask you a question? Do all those brains in your head give you a headache?
I mean, it's got to hat all squished in there.
No, it's fine. I think they just fit. Right, well, I better hang around just in case. If they start to squeeze out of your ears, you're going to need help. I'm Lambda, and I think it's probably for the best if we're best friends.
Aimee! Someone brought organic syrup into the Trunchbull's chest! Someone told her I did it, but I knew her, and now she's after me!
Oh, you're done, kid. You're finished.
Once Agatha Trunchbull decides you're guilty, you are.
Now she's going to put me in the choky!
Oh no, she's coming.
You better hide.
You! Where is the maggot known as Nigel?
He's over there, under those coats. Where he's been for the last hour, actually.
What? An hour?
Oh, yes. You see, Nigel suffers from a rare but chronic sleep disorder, narcolepsy. You see, he fell asleep and we put him under the coats for safety. Didn't we? Didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yes! Narcolepsy?
He'll probably think he's in bed when he wakes up.
Is it time for school yet, Mom? Hello? What am I doing here? Well, this isn't my room at all. Oh, hello, Miss Trunchbull.
Amanda Threep.
Yes, Miss Trunchbull?
What if I told you about your pigtails? I hate pigtails.
But my mommy likes them. She says they make me look pretty.
Then your mommy is a twit.
Here she comes.
You! What is your name?
Matilda Wormwood.
So you're Wormwood. Well then, Matilda Wormwood, you have just made a very big mistake.
Just so y'all know, she's my best friend.
Matilda, can I speak to you for a moment, please? I'm afraid I've not been too successful in getting others to recognize your abilities. So, starting tomorrow, I shall bring in a selection of very clever books that I think will challenge your mind. And you may sit and read while I teach the others. Well, if you have any questions, I shall do my best to answer them. How does that sound?
Matilda Wormwood! Matilda Wormwood!
Yes, Miss Trunchbull?
So you do admit it, do you?
Admit what, Miss Trunchbull?
This morning, you sneaked like a serpent into my kitchen and stole a piece of my private chocolate cake from my tea tray.
Miss Trunchbull, Matilda's been here all morning.
Standing up for the little spitball, are you? Well, this crime happened this morning before school started. Therefore, she is guilty.
Okay, fine. Look, I stole the cake. And honestly, I was totally, definitely, almost, sort of, totally thinking about owning up. Maybe. But the thing was, I was having a lot of trouble with my belly. You see, the Trunchbull's cake was so good that I swapped it down too quick, and now it was beginning to fight back. See?
I'm not guilty. I didn't do anything.
You are guilty because you are a fiend. You are a crook. You are a thief. And I shall crush you. And I shall pound you. And I shall confine you to the seventh circle of hell, child. And then you shall be destroyed.
It was the biggest burp I had ever done. It was the biggest burp I had ever heard. It was the biggest burp I had ever heard about. It's like the whole world went silent for that one burp to exist. As a big cloud of chocolatey gas wafted past everyone and drifted past the class, past Lavender, past Alice, past Matilda. Then, a great, big, beautiful, chocolatey burp, which now seemed to have a mind of its own, wafted full into the face of the Trunchbull.
Bruce, bog trotter.
Yes, miss?
You liked my cake, didn't you, Bruce?
Yes, I did, Miss Trunchbull, and I'm very, very sorry.
Wonderful! Marvelous. It makes me so happy. Oh, cook. What's the matter, bog trotter? Lost your appetite?
Well, yes, I'm full.
Oh no. You are not full. I'll tell you when you are full. And I say that criminals like you are not full until they've eaten the entire cake. Eat.
But I can't eat it all.
Headmistress, he'll be sick.
He should have thought of that before he made a pact with Satan and decided to steal my cake.
He can't.
Eat.
He surely can't.
Eat.
He might explode.
Eat.
Bruce, no matter what the subject he will use, for your immense caboose, to call a truce. Bruce, just wanna let you completely come to this. We never thought it was possible, but here it is coming true. We can have our cake and eat it.
Go on, Brucey! Yeah, yes!
Well done, bog trotter. Great job. Well, come along, bog trotter.
What? Wait, where?
Oh, did I not mention? That was only the first part of your punishment. There's more. The second part. And the second part is choking.
No, Miss Trunchbull, please, you can't.
Yes, Miss Trunchbull, please, you can. Do you think I would allow myself to be defeated by these maggots? Do you? Who do you think I am, Miss Honey? A weakling? An idiot? A fool?
I did. I ate a lot. No, please. No, not there. No, please.
That's not right.
Matilda, how lovely to see you. Are you enjoying school?
Oh, yes. Mrs. Phelps, where's the revenge section?
What? Well, we don't have a revenge section.
You want to hear the next part of my story?
Story? Did you say story? Matilda, what are we waiting for?
And so they prepared themselves for the most dangerous feat that had ever been performed. The great escapologist had to escape from the cage, lean out, catch his wife with one hand, grab a fire extinguisher with the other, and put out the flames on her specially designed dress within 12 seconds before they reached the dynamite and blew his wife's head off. Maybe it was the thought of their child. Maybe it was nerves. But the escapologist used just a touch too much foam, and suddenly their hands became slippy, and she fell. She broke every bone in her body except the ones at the ends of her little fingers. She did manage to live long enough to have their child, but the effort was too great. Love our little girl, she said. Love our daughter with all your heart. She is all we ever wanted. And then she died. Then things got worse.
What? Worse? Oh no, Matilda, not worse. They can't get worse.
I'm afraid they did, because the escapologist was so kind that he never for 1 second blamed the evil sister for what happened. In fact, he asked her to move in and help look after his daughter. She was nothing but rude to the little girl, making her wash, iron, cook, and clean, and beating her if she did a thing wrong. But always in secret, so that the escapologist never suspected a thing. And so the poor little girl grew up with the meanest, cruelest, horriblest aunt you can possibly imagine.
Let's call the police!
Mrs. Phelps, it's just a story.
What? Oh, yes, of course. Matilda, you are so smart. Your parents must think they have won the lottery having a child like you.
Yeah, they do.
I'm so clever, I'm so clever, I'm so very, 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 very clever, I'm so very flaming clever, what a very clever fellow I am. Everyone, gather round, I want my family to share in my triumph. Not you, boy.
I'm a girl.
155 old bangers on my hands. How could I possibly make the mileage go back? I couldn't very well drive each one backwards, could I?
Backwards?
And suddenly, I had the most genius idea in the world. I grabbed a drill and, using my incredible mind, I attached the drill to the speedometer of the first car, turned it on, and whacked it in reverse.
Backwards?
Exactly. Within a few minutes, I'd reduced the mileage to practically nothing.
Backwards!
And 10 minutes later, the Russians show up. Expensive suits, dark glasses.
Russians are nocturnal. I saw it on a program last night.
That was badges. It was a program about badges.
Same thing! And did it work? Fantastico!
You cheated them. That's not fair at all. They trusted you and you cheated them.
What is the matter with you? What have we done to deserve a child like you?
You know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to go down to that library and tell that old bag that you're never to be let in again!
What? No, please don't.
And if she does, I will have a fight, and you will never read another stinking book as long as you live. I will put an end to your stories, young man. Now get in there and stay in there, you nasty little creep!
At night, the escapologist daughter cried herself to sleep alone in her room. She beat her, threw in a dank, dark, dusty cellar, locked the door, and went out. But that day, the escapologist happened to come home early, and when he heard the sound of his daughter's tears, he smashed the door open. Have I been so wrapped up in my grief for my wife that I've forgotten the one thing that matters to us most? I love you so much, my daughter. I shall spend the rest of my life making it up to you. But when the little girl fell asleep, the escapologist's thoughts turned into the acrobat's sister, and an almighty rage grew inside his great heart. But that was the last the little girl ever saw of her father, because he never came home, ever again.
Discipline, discipline for children who are listening, for midgets who are fidgeting or whispering in history. Their chattering, their chittering, their nattering and twittering is tempered with a smattering of discipline. We must begin insisting on rigidity and discipline, persistently resisting this anarchistic mischieving. The midgets who are fittering are pondering and pittering, while little ones like this stay just once. The simpering, the whimpering, the dribbling, the spitting, the issue. It's an issue we feel. There is no mastering the art of classroom mistering. It's discipline, discipline. The smell of rebellion, the stench of revolt, the reek of pubescent plotting, the wave of resistance, the pong of dissent, the funk of moral fiber rotting. Imagine a world without children. close your eyes and just dream. Imagine, right, the peace and the quiet, a burbling stream. Now imagine a woods with a cottage, and inside this cottage we find a dwarf called Zeke, a carnival freak who can fold paper hats with his mind. And he says, don't let them steal your horses, don't let them throw them away. No, 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 if you find your wish, they'll be waiting for you. Yay! Yay! Aha! And there, just like I said, the stinking maggot rears his head. Even the scrittiest, prettiestness can harbor seeds of stinkiness. Have you ever seen anything more repellent? Have you ever smelt anything worse than the smell of rebellion? The stench of revolt, the reek of insubordination, the whiff of resistance, the pang of dissent. And I will not stop till you are squashed, till this rebellion is squashed, till glorious sweaty discipline has squashed the sickening scent away.
Hello, I'm Lavender. By the way, Matilda's best friend. There's a bit coming up that's all about me. Well, not exactly about me, but I play a big part in it. But I'm not going to say what happens because I don't want to spoil it for you. Alright, look. What I do is I volunteer to give the Trunchbull a jug of water. And then... No, I don't want to tell you anymore because I don't want to ruin it. Well, on the way back, I find a newt. A newt is like a really ugly lizard that lives in the water. And so I picked it up and... No! I will not say any more! I'm going to put newt in the Trunchbull's jug. It's going to be brilliant!
Quiet!
I don't think this is teaching at all. I think it's just cruelty.
That is because you, Miss Honey, are pathetic. You are weak. You are wet. You are, in fact, a sniveling little newt. There's a newt inside you.
No! Not me! What? No, I didn't!
You did this, you vile, repulsive, manipulative little sinner!
Leave her alone, you big fat bully!
Oh, how dare you! You are not fit to be in the school. You ought to be in a prison. The deepest, dankest, and darkest prison. I shall have you wheeled out on a trolley with a muzzle over your mouth. And I shall crush you. I shall pound you. All of the disgusting little slugs shall suffer the most appalling indigence because of you. Yes, you. And I shall feed you to the termites. And then I shall smash the termites into tiny little fragments.
Have you ever wondered, will I have, about how when I say red, for example, there's no way of knowing if red means the same thing in your head as red means in my head when someone says red, and how if we are traveling at almost the speed of light and we're holding a light, that light will still travel away from us at the full speed of light, which seems right in a way. But I'm trying to say, I'm not sure, but I wonder if inside my head I'm not just a bit different from some of my friends. These answers that come into my mind unbidden, these stories delivered to me fully written. And when everyone shouts like they seem to like shouting, the noise in my head is incredibly loud. And I just wish they'd stop. My dad and my mom, the telly and stories would stop for just once. And I'm sorry, but I'm not quite explaining it right. But this noise becomes anger, and the anger is light. And this burning inside me would usually fade, but it isn't today. And the heat and the shouting, and my heart is pounding, and my eyes are burning, and suddenly everything is quiet. Like silence, but not really silent. Just that still sort of quiet, like the sound of a page being turned in a book, or pause in a walk in the woods. Quiet. Like silence, but not really silent. Just that nice kind of quiet, like the sound when you lie upside down in your bed. Just the sound of your heart in your head. And though the people around me, their mouths are still moving, the words they are forming cannot reach me anymore. And it is quiet, and I am warm, like I've sailed into the eye of the storm.
Are you poor?
Yes. Yes, I am. Very.
Don't they pay teachers very well?
No, they don't actually, but I'm even poorer than most because of other reasons.
But Miss Honey, you can't live in a shed.
I'm not strong like you, Matilda. You see, when my father died, I was young. Magnus was his name. He was very kind. But when he was gone, my aunt became my legal guardian. She was mean and cruel and horrible like you could hardly imagine. All I know is that years of being bullied by that woman made me pathetic. I was trapped.
And that's why you live here.
On these walls I hang wonderful pictures. By this window I can watch the seasons change. By this lamp I can read. And I am set free. And when it's cold outside, I feel no fear. Even in the winter storms, I am warmed by a small but stubborn fire. And there is nowhere I would rather be. It isn't much, but it is enough for me. It isn't much,
but it is enough for me. For this is my house, this is my house. It isn't much, but it is enough for me. This is my house, this is my house. It isn't much, but it is enough. And when it's cold and bleak, I feel no fear. Even in the fiercest storms, I am warmed by a small but stubborn fire. Even when outside it's freezing, I don't pay much heed. I know that everything I need is in here. It isn't much, but it is enough for me. It isn't much, but it is enough for me.
This class is going to have a very special spelling test. Any child who gets one single answer wrong shall go to Turkey. Let's see, you. Spell, spell newt.
Newt. N-E-W-T. Newt. Miss Honey taught us. She's very good at teaching.
Nonsense! Miss Honey is far too peachy and soft to be good at anything. You. Spell the one thing that you all are. Revolting.
Revolting. R-E-V-O-L-T-I-N-G. Revolting.
You're cheating!
Of course she's not cheating. She's simply spelling a word.
These little specks of dust can't be this clever. They are worms.
I taught them, that's all, with kindness and patience and respect.
How dare you bring these words into my classroom, madam? You know nothing of teaching, and I shall prove it. You, filth walks, not nose, spell, amachili communeal spectinistimosis.
What? That's not a word. You just made it up.
Spell obkodechoki. And I should warn you, there are silent letters.
L-L-A.
Oh dear. Oh dearie, dearie.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. There was a silent Z. You're going to Turkey!
Cat. C-A-F. I got it wrong, miss. You have to put me in the chokey too.
Dog. D-Y-P. And me. Table. X-A-B-F-Y. And me.
Oh, what are you doing? What is going on? Stop this!
You can't put us all in chokey. Banana. G-T-A-A-B-L.
Bully. P-Y-T-L-F-D-R-V-S-W.
You see, maggots, in this world, there are two types of human beings. The winners and the losers. And I...
The chalk. Look. The chalk.
What?
It's moving. It's moving. It's writing something.
What the devil? What the devil? Who?
No one's doing anything.
Agatha. This is Magnus. Give my Jenny
Fuck her house.
And leave.
Or I will get you.
Like you got me.
Run!
Run! Run! Run! Run! Run! Run! Run!
Whoa! Never again will she get the best of me. Never again will she take away my freedom. And we won't forget the day we
Fought for the right to be a little bit naughty. Never again.
with a joke and don't lie.
Never again.
Let be bullied out.
Never again.
We doubted when
God always says I'm a miracle. Never again. Never again will we live behind bars. Never again will we know we are revolting children living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have the Trunchbull revolting. We're revolting. We are revolting children living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have the Trunchbull revolting. We're revolting.
We'll become a screaming fool.
Take out your hockey stick and use it as a sword.
Never again will we be ignored.
We'll find out where the chalk is stored.
And draw rude pictures on the board. It's not insulting. We're revolting.
A few days later, the acrobat and the escapologist's daughter received a letter from a solicitor. It said that her parents' will had mysteriously turned up, and she was now the owner of a beautiful old house, which had up until that moment been owned by the evil aunt, one Agatha Trunchbull.
And as for Miss Trunchbull, she was never seen again. The Chokies were immediately destroyed, and a new headmistress took over.
And her name was Miss Honey. It was said that it was the greatest school in all the land.
And do you know something else? Matilda was never again able to move things with her eyes. The little girl who had done so much to help others, but was stuck with parents who were mean and cruel and called her names. And I would wish that I could just do something.
So that is the end. I wish so much that I could tell you that this is a happy ending. I wish so much that I can tell you Matilda got the love she deserved. But perhaps the truth is, not all stories have happy endings.
We're going to Spain!
Spain? But why?
This idiot, this nit, this twit brain seemed to think it was a good idea to sell 155 old bangers to the Russian mafia.
Come on, boy. We're leaving forever. We're never coming back.
Let Matilda stay here with me. I would love to take Matilda. If she'd like to stay with me, that is. Would you like that, Matilda?
Do you want to stay here with Miss Honey?
Yes, I do.
Well, we are a bit short of room, so yes.
Thank you.
They hardly noticed as the Wormwood sped away into the distance.
Because they had found each other.
They had found each other.
Maggots! Naughty!